Welcome into the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show. Glenn Clark, Paul Valley, the voice of Andrew Stecca off in the distance, and your lovely and talented host, Mr. Ken Zalis. What's going on, KZ?
It's week 7. There are 6 teams on bye, and everybody's hurt. This is going to be just
pure hell this week. We're going to get to your questions. Get them in at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, and we will pose them to KZ here shortly. Also, you can put them in the comments if you're with us on Facebook Live, and we'll get them posed to KZ. KZ, I hear you hit big on Underdog Fantasy Football this week.
I did. I played the Sunday night, Monday night combo, and played 5 and went 5 for 5, so I won 20 times my initial bet, so that was fun. It kind of offset what I did not do very well on Sunday, but the big win made my week. So,
big $100 victory.
Yeah.
Playing all overs, too, which is the way to play. That's the way to go about
not really, but yeah.
No, if you want to have fun, you're playing overs.
You want to have fun.
Exactly,
you want to root for points and stuff like that.
Correct.
But yeah, two on Sunday night, 3 on Monday night, and went well. But I'm having a ball with Underdog. You can go to the latest issue of Pressbox and pick that up, and there's kind of a tutorial of all the different games and how to play and how you can win. So I encourage everybody to go check that out, either by going to pick it up, or you can check it out on PressBoxOnline.com.
And we're giving them some free money, too.
Yeah, I mean, you get $10. You deposit at least $10. You can deposit more. But if you put in the code PRESSBOX, all one word, you'll get $10 to play with from your good friends at PressBox and PressBox Online.
Very cool. Hey, Andrew Stecca, do you have any fantasy football questions this week for Ken Zalis?
My teams are so bad that I am not sure if they're beyond.
But my point was, but do you have any questions anyway?
No, not offhand.
Oh, all right. Well, you really ruined the bit, so thank you for nothing.
I can work on some for you.
The bit was going to be where you say, yeah, I've got a question. I say, well, you're not allowed to answer it because I'm playing Andrew Stecca this week in the Ken Zalis League.
I didn't even realize that.
So thanks a lot for stepping all over the bit, you horrible, horrendous person. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
It means a lot to me. All right, KZ, let's start tonight. Obviously, that's the big story this week. The Cleveland Browns are a disaster.
Yeah.
They're a disaster. Where do you have Dearness Johnson ranked?
I have him 20. I believe I have him 24th this week. So he's an RB2. Look, I mean, this is a guy that if you're just going to look at the numbers, you're going to say, he's had 90 carries, averaging almost 5 yards a carry over his career. He's going to get a ton of work. Yeah, Denver doesn't give up any yards. I'm on the ground, so it's just a tough week. I think this is everybody's hurt. 6 teams are on bye. I know he's playing, and I don't know who else is playing after him, like on Sunday and Monday. So if you're if you're an Alex Collins owner, if you're an Antonio Gibson owner, and you're like, I don't know, look, he's probably going to get 15 to 20 touches if he averages 3.5. I mean, maybe he gets you 10 PPR points somewhere along the way. The Felton thing, I mean, he's never received a carry in the NFL. I don't know. Maybe he does tonight. Maybe he catches a couple of balls. But Johnson's a pretty good. Let's just don't assume that Johnson's going to come off on third down in all passing situations because he's a pretty good receiver. It's just the matchup is bad. The weather's going to be bad. They don't have right now. We don't know if any of their starting wide receivers are going to be playing. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. We do know that Baker's out and Keenum's in, but Keenum's. They're saying they don't even practice when there's Thursday night games. So they're saying, well, he took all the number 1 snaps. Well, they don't practice.
Right, it's just walkthroughs.
So he hasn't really worked with the number 1s. And he certainly hasn't worked with.
Well, in fairness,
I mean,
there really aren't number 1s. Yeah,
the number 2s. I mean, but we don't know what's going on with Landry. That hopefully that comes out some point this afternoon. And I know. I mean, I'm in a league where, if he's active tonight, I have to play Landry. I have.
You're literally mowing through my questions.
Yeah, I have 6 people. I have 6 people in this league on bye, and there's only 5 bench spots. So I have a problem. It's. I know a lot of people are facing those things. So. Who do I like tonight? A little bit Javonte Williams. I want to
make this very clear.
I have 21.
Let me go back to Landry for a second before. You're saying if he plays. If he's activated and he plays, you're playing him, but there's obviously a level to that. Where is he ranked for you if he plays?
So he's going to be. If you go to my rankings right now, it's based on me not knowing. So he's 47. So don't come back and say, but you said you don't have him as a wide receiver 3. I'm going to have him as a wide receiver 3. I'm probably going to have him because I don't think Beckham's going to play, who I originally had at 34. I'll probably have him around 35, somewhere around there. He's a wide receiver 3 this week if he plays. He's usually pretty safe when he plays as far as a floor goes. 6 catches, 60, 70 yards, 13, 14 PPR points. Usually, write that down in ink, and it's usually about right. We're talking about Donovan Peoples-Jones, and I know he was a sexy waiver wire. We've been through this, folks. Stop being impressed with numbers. You had to watch the game. He was good, but 60 of those yards or 70 of those yards was on a Hail Mary. It is what it is, and it's just bless you. It's just one of those things that I'm not trusting Donovan Peoples-Jones this week either as a wide receiver option.
I get that.
I don't know. Maybe it's in Njoku. Backup quarterbacks like the tight ends. Maybe Njoku's a little bit better. Maybe Hooper gets a little bit more run. But there's not much to like. There's not much to like here.
Well, other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? Other than all that,
this is how bad it is for me. I'm planning on starting Felton tonight against Glenn.
Yeah, you have to do things. I've told somebody to take a 0 this week with their defense. I just, you got to be careful this week to not let this week in fantasy ruin your season-long season. And I say that season-long season because, in Dynasty you have big benches and things like that, and you're not dropping people. But somebody asked a question, who do I need to pick up a defense. Who do I drop? Do I drop Elijah Mitchell or Javonte Williams? I'm like, no.
No. So what are you doing then?
You play without a defense. You take a 0. What are defenses averaging? 4 points?
I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you.
The defense, and the worst thing is that the defense the best defense he could pick up were the Jets. No, just play without a defense.
All right. The other storylines this week. Dawson Knox looks like he's probably going to be. I know it was bye week for him anyway. Looks like he's probably going to be out for a little while.
We'll see. He's got a broken hand.
Keep talking for a second while I try to fix something. Paul, talk to Ken.
Okay, I'll keep talking. So he's got a broken hand. This was the quote unquote breakout running back, tight end for this year. The Robert Tonyan of this year, if you want a comparison. Got a carry the other night, a touchdown that got called back. So that was encouraging, and it's kind of a buzzkill that he's probably. They're not officially saying he's going to be out long term, but the bye week you're not going to get any information. But yeah, looks like he'll probably miss a couple of weeks until they figure out exactly, how much, what the surgery, if he needs surgery, and they'll clean up all that this week. So that's, in the tight end world, that's a big deal. After we did our show last week, then the Ertz trade came down.
Right.
So yeah, now, and great news for Ertz, great news for Dallas Goedert. You have starting tight ends. Ertz is probably the way they were using Max Williams.
Where are you ranking Ertz?
He's a top 10 guy.
Okay.
He's going to be, and it's not just because of the bye week. This week he's 10 for me exactly, but you look at most weeks. Eventually Ricky Seals-Jones, but he's gonna be for sure a top 12 guy. I got Goddard at 6 this week, so you have another if you held on to him and weren't frustrated early by that he was still there, and after all the trades and he was splitting touches and things like that. You now have a starting tight end with an offense that surprisingly. And I say surprisingly because they really didn't do it a whole lot until this year, is using the tight end more. Max Williams was a waiver wire tight end darling that was getting a lot of run and getting in the end zone and getting goal line looks, red zone looks. So, Yeah, Ertz is a guy that you're firing up in most weeks. If one of the other big stories that's going around is, and we, again, after we went off the air last week, is Christian McCaffrey went on IR.
Right.
And we were talking about what do you do with Hubbard.
Yep, we were trying to trade him to
we're trying to trade him to the McCaffrey owner. You may have to do this in reverse now. Here's the thing. He was trying to get back last week, and he felt something again in the same hamstring. This isn't good. Like, this is a guy that, everybody came into the league and everybody was like, we're worried about his size and we're worried about how durable he's going to be. And he was among the most durable running backs for his first 3 years. And now he's played 6 games out of 22. And I heard somebody, and I wish I could give him credit because I forgot which show I was listening to, but he made the comparison of Christian McCaffrey and Mike Trout.
Huh.
Mike Trout is so good and means so much to his team that he was supposed to be gone for 8 weeks in the baseball season, and he was gone for 17. Never played again. And it's kind of like we're not going to play Mike Trout unless he's Mike Trout, unless
Right.
he's 100% because of the long-term ramifications. They sunk a lot of money into Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Are you going to bring him back like they did last year for 3 meaningless games in weeks 13 through 15, and then he was hurt again and, the rehab in the offseason? Or are you just going to say, we're not going to play him until he's healthy? Now, that may be in 3 weeks, but that may be in 6 weeks, and that may be in 8 weeks, or you may not see him again this year. I can't predict what that is. If I'm a McCaffrey owner, I'm looking to move him. I'm not looking to sell him on the cheap. But if somebody is a Hubbard owner and wants to give you a low wide receiver 1 for him, or a package of a couple of two RB2s for him with the way bye weeks are and injuries are, I think you have to listen if you're a McCaffrey owner at this point.
Okay. Keep that in mind. It's probably not what you want to hear.
No, it's not what you want to hear.
It's the reality. It's the reality.
Andrew Stecca, who is starting Felton tonight.
Right.
This is where we are in fantasy.
Right.
So if you have if somebody can give you 2 guys that are RB2s for Christian McCaffrey, I think you got to listen, depending on what your roster construction.
No, you don't have. I was hoping he was the one that had Christian McCaffrey. I was going to try to make him an offer right now.
No, I actually have Hubbard.
Well, there you go.
A better one to have at the moment, for what it's worth.
That is.
All right. Need to hone your computer skills to boost your career, or maybe you want an IT certification? CCBC Continuing Education has the courses and programs you need for a career in the computer field, and it's all tuition free. From the basics to specialized training, we have the classes you need, from hardware to programming to cybersecurity, and so much more. It's your choice. It's your career. Call 443-840-4700 or visit ccbcmd.edu/computer training. Before we grab a break, real quick, if you're Baker Mayfield owner, if you're Justin Herbert owner who's on a bye this week, give me an idea for some who's in maybe underlying quarterback that hasn't been owned that you think could be helpful this week.
The first one I'm gonna say, only because I was able to get him in 2 leagues and I was stunned, but because he's coming off the bye, he was dropped in certain situations. Matt Ryan's been really, really good for about 3 straight weeks. He's in my top 12 this week. He was on some waiver wires. I know Sam Darnold has been awful for 3 weeks now after being really, really good for 3 weeks, but they're playing the Giants. The Giants' secondary is just trash. If you need it, you can go in that direction. Jameis Winston is a guy that I've seen on waiver wires going at Seattle. That secondary isn't good. And I really, if you want to, it's tough, but Jimmy G on
Sunday
night against a very depleted Colts secondary now, maybe worth a shot coming off the bye. Maybe they figured out some things with Ayuk. Samuel's been terrific the whole year. So those are some guys. If you want to trust Daniel Jones again, tough to do after last week, but he's actually ranked in my top 15 this week, so that's where we are.
Yeah.
6 teams are on bye.
I get it.
Baker's out. We're not starting Keenum anywhere. We can't start Fields anywhere.
No.
It's kind of desperate out there.
All right. And by the way, is the Devontae Booker thing dead? Like, it's just is that dead?
It's not dead. I mean, he's still there. He's still the starting guy. In this week, I mean, if you have them, you're using them. But when's Barkley coming back? And as soon as Barkley comes back, I mean, that's probably dead. But I'm trying to ignore the Giants' woes last week. I really am, because teams have that. Teams just have that. I mean, if you were to do that locally, you never would have wanted to start the Ravens defense last week against the Chargers because of what they did the week before. So it's a week-to-week league. I'm trying to ignore it. Early in that game, it looked like it was going to be another 12-target Tony week, and then Tony goes out and it kind of just never materialized after that. You had Shepard coming back from IR and things like that. So it was just weird. So I'm going to kind of ignore it. But I know a lot of people won't and probably can't do it.
It's really tough. Every seat is the best seat at M&T Bank Stadium. Don't miss a moment of Ravens football this season. Single game tickets now available at BaltimoreRavens.com/tickets. When we come back in, we get to your questions. What do you want to know from KZ to set your lineups for Week 7? That's next. It's the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show.
Need to hone your computer skills to boost your career? Or maybe you want an IT certification? CCBC Continuing Education has the courses and programs you need for a career in the computer field. And it's all tuition free. From the basics to specialized training, we have the classes you need, from hardware to programming to cybersecurity, and so much more. It's your choice. It's your career. Call 443-840-4700 or visit ccbcmd.edu/computer training.
Glory Days Grill's popular Oktoberfest menu is back, and it features their delicious chicken schnitzel, 2 chicken cutlets, hand-breaded in herb panko and pan-fried until golden brown, served with mustard cream sauce, mashed potatoes, and roasted vegetables. Their menu also includes your favorites like the Oktoberfest Brewer's Platter, Brewer's Sausage Sandwich, Prussian Pretzel Roll, Slam Dunk Pretzels, and Apple Cobbler. All of these meals pair well with their many Oktoberfest beers and Angry Orchard on draft. Dine on their patios or in their dining room, or order online at glorydaysgrill.com and pick up your favorites to take home. Glory Days Grill has been proud to serve the community for the last 25 years. Thank you, fans.
If you change lanes and brake suddenly in front of my tractor trailer, I won't be able to stop. Our lives could change forever. Trucks need room to stop. Don't cut it close.
Brought to you by the Maryland Department of Transportation State Highway Administration.
What's up, everybody? This is Tyus Bowser. I can't wait to see you guys for the Tyus Bowser Show this fall. We're going to be taking the show on the road all over the area. You can meet me and my very special guests. If you can't make it out, you can watch the show on live on Pressbox Facebook page or listen the next day. Find out more about where we'll be by checking out PressboxOnline.com/Bowser. We'll see you all season long for the Tyus Bowser Show.
All right, back in here on the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show. Of course, we know that sports betting is coming. I know it's been delayed. I know it's frustrating. I understand all of those things, but it is coming. That's a promise. It's going to happen. And when it does, the place to be is going to be the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. Your chance to win big right in your own backyard. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all the action from the best seat in the house. Make every moment more at the all-new FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. All right, KZ, we start with me because I'm the most important. Devontae Booker or Javonte Williams or Khalil Herbert?
Oh, let's see. They're all in that 17 to 24 range. Because Booker, you're going for the volume, and he's the only one that's really getting carries. It's not going to be Herbert for me as long as Damian Williams. It's really tough. When they were both there, it was an even split down there. You can't run on Tampa anyway, so I'm not wanting if I have a better option. I think your upside is with Williams and your safe floor is with Booker. I have Booker higher just because of the volume and there's no one to split with. It's not a terrific matchup, but neither is the Williams matchup. So it's Booker for me. I think the potential for the bigger game could be Williams if they decide to give him 20 touches tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I mean
that's where it is. Whereas I think Booker automatically gets 20 touches.
Right.
And so that's where I am with those two.
Chuba Hubbard or Dearness Johnson or Booker?
Hubbard. Hubbard's in my top 12 this week.
All right, very good. From Dave. This is basically the quarterback question that we were talking about earlier. We got a few of these, by the way, just for the record.
It's terrible.
Dave says his options: Carson Wentz, Jameis Winston, Daniel Jones, Mac Jones.
If you can stomach it because of the rushing, it's Daniel Jones in fantasy.
It's tough to stomach.
If not, I mean, I think Wentz is going to have to throw a little bit more because they're going to be behind because the defense just can't hold up anymore. So I mean, Wentz would be my second choice there. I can't start Mac Jones yet in a fantasy league.
I hear you. I mean, he's looked good.
He's looked good, but the Jets aren't terrible on defense. Let's just say that. I know it's not a great offensive team, but defensively, they're not awful. Okay. They're not the Giants.
Okay, all right. That's a very low bar.
It's a low bar.
That's a very low bar. From another quarterback situation. This is like me, a Justin Herbert owner. This is Chris. Says the best option according to projections on Yahoo is Joe Burrow, but he doesn't know if he can trust that after what he saw the Ravens defense do a week ago. Says the other guys that are out there are Darnold, Tua, and Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz.
No, Matt Ryan. No doubt in my mind that it's Matt Ryan. Miami has been terrible on the defensive side. Howard still, I don't believe, is back at cornerback. So I have Ryan as a top 10 guy this week.
And he wants to know if he should drop. Now, this might play into the thing you were just talking about a minute ago. He wants to know if he should drop Booker or Herbert in order to pick him up.
I mean, no. You can't drop viable running backs right now.
But how long are they viable running backs?
I don't know, but right now they are. And I know next week it's only 2 teams on bye, but then I think the week after that there are 4 again. I don't know if we have another one of these 6s coming up. It's tough. It's tough for me to say drop a running back. I would go if you have a backup tight end, if you have a backup defense, if you have a backup kicker, if you have more than 2 quarterbacks. I don't care who they are. Pick the best one, keep them, drop the other one. And
I mean, I hear what you're saying.
Drop somebody that there's no way you're going to use this week.
Well, I mean, but like, couldn't that be one of those? Couldn't that be what he's saying? Is I'm not using those backs, and so
you have to have. I mean, hit me at Fans Fantasy. Show me your roster. I'll help you out. But there's got to be somebody better for you to drop. I just have to believe that.
Okay, all right, that's the answer. That's
I can't drop those guys, and if it
was to me,
I drop Burrow to pick up Ryan? Yes, if that's the last thing, they're close enough for me.
No, but I mean, okay, right, but he's saying he needs a quarterback.
He needs a quarterback,
right? He needs a quarterback. So it might come down to are you dropping one of those guys, or are you dropping and not playing a defense this week?
Well, you can not play a defense. I mean, it depends who your defense is. I'm not
holding on to Booker so bad that I'm not playing a defense this week.
I mean, for me, he's a top 20 back this week, though.
But if you're not playing, how does that help you?
We didn't ask that question.
Yeah,
I don't know what his roster is.
I don't think he's asking us if he should be dropping.
He's probably not playing one of them.
Yes.
I mean, if you're not, I drop a wide receiver, you're not playing. I'm sorry, I'm not dropping either one of those. Send me your roster at Fans Fantasy.
You know, there's 6 teams on a bye this week.
I know. It's so hard.
Randy, he gets. By the way, he gets back in. He just says, literally the only two guys I could possibly drop. Everybody else is a player that's on a bye. The rest of my bench is Dalvin Cook, James Robinson. I could drop Jarvis Landry. I guess I'm probably not going to play him this week.
Don't you have an IR spot? Oh, these leagues.
Well, none of those guys are on IR. You can't put him on IR.
Landry's on IR.
If he gets activated tonight, you can't have him on IR.
I know, but I understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be the answer. If you can put Landry on your IR, do that.
Yeah. But I mean, if I got to drop one over the other, and I'm only starting one this week, I guess I hate even saying this because it's recorded. Somebody could come say to me, well, I heard you say. I guess it's Herbert because he's lower in my rankings and he's in a share.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do.
I understand, boy. That was like pulling teeth.
I
man.
know.
That was really difficult. That was painful. From Nick Kelly, Dearness Johnson, or Myles Gaskin?
What do we do with Gaskin?
Oh no!
I mean, what do we do?
I got no answer.
I mean, how do we rank them? What do we do with them? It's Johnson. I at least we know we're going to get carries. I can't tell you what in the heck Gaskin's going to do. Does he get 2 carries? Does he get 12 targets? Or does he do what he did last week, which is neither of the two? So let's go with the guy I think I know is going to get 15 touches tonight minimum.
So you think you know.
I think I know.
I think you know.
I think you know,
but you have no idea.
I have a little bit of an
idea. No
I have
clue.
a little bit of an idea.
This is just a generic question from Dan. How much are you buying into T.Y. Hilton after last week?
Enough that he's on. He should be owned everywhere. If you have to start him, I think you got to feel.
Where do you have him ranked?
I don't know. You're not supposed to ask me where I have people ranked. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
Got the rankings.
It's a joke. I have him as a flex option. So I have him in the 40s right now. With a couple of people, maybe are out this week. He could get inside the top 40, but San Francisco isn't the easiest matchup in the world on the road. But yeah, I mean he's flex worthy this week for sure.
Paul Valley, you got fantasy questions you want to get in with?
My teams are garbage.
So you give it up?
And they
give up.
You're waving the white flag.
How's Barkley working out for you on your IR?
How's Tyson Williams working out for you?
He's a starter this week.
What?
He could be a starter this week again.
And get 4 carries for 6 yards again.
What are you talking about? He could be a starter this week.
Murray's out. Who knows? You tell me that there's no possibility that all of a sudden the Ravens say, you know what, Murray's out. We like the other two guys in the role.
What you guys missed during break is that Paul was talking about how much his team sucked, and Ken Zalis was like, well, maybe it'd be nice if you responded to a trade offer. And then that particular trade offer, Paul, was?
It was Saquon Barkley for Tyson Williams and Mike Davis, who's arguably the worst starting running back in football.
Barely.
That's a bold statement, but he's not.
But
this was in week 2.
This was in week 2.
Let's put the context together.
Right.
Week 2, Barkley had gone out. You have no other running backs.
I have Josh Jacobs. He was just out for that week.
Exactly. At that when the offer was made, you had no running backs, and I was offering you at the moment 2 starting running backs.
It's a very short-sighted trade, though, if I make it, because I'm only preparing for 1 week instead of an entire season.
What's your record?
It's 2-4. KZ is trying to make me the patsy of this league.
No, I'm not. I was trying to make Paul the patsy of the league, but he won't respond to trade offers.
He's Paul.
I'm Paul.
No, a different one. We have 2 Pauls.
We have 2 Pauls? Who's the other Paul?
We have a different one.
Who's the other?
Moss.
Oh, Paul Moss.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul from Obi Lane.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
I knew we had 2.
Andrew Steck is still alive,
I know.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm here.
The ombudsman.
Question for KZ when he gets a chance.
All right. We already asked if you had any questions, and you said you didn't. You son of a...
I've figured out that so you guys were talking about I want to figure out how to fix my tight end position with George Kittle down. I've been piecing it together basically with Anthony Ferguson and Cameron Brate. But I don't know if there's a better option out there that might be, able to is Njoku or any of these guys, like a better option to piece things together until George Kittle comes back from the dead.
I mean, I would start with see if OJ Howard is still on your waiver wire because Antonio Brown didn't practice this week yet. He's got an ankle issue. There's some concern growing as to whether he'll play. So maybe a couple of more targets go O.J. Howard because Gronk is still out. The other thing that I've done with, and I'm a Kittle owner in a couple places, I just picked up Ross Dwelley and say, okay, they use the tight end. Dwelley's played okay. He's as good as those other options, and he plays in a more tight end friendly offense. So I've gone in that route as well.
Okay.
All right. I don't. If it helps Andrew, I don't like it because I'm playing him. Now you got to help me. Beat.
I thought I already helped you.
In your crap league where I got to play crap players because we're playing so many flexes. I got to play from this group. I got to play two of these. I got to play Hardman, Renfro, Booker. I got to play two of them.
Booker and Renfro.
Okay. Yeah, actually, it was probably gonna be the two. Paul, did you actually have a question though? Like that was the part that I was trying to get to. Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
No, there's so many guys on bye that there's really no option for me.
Are you really just saying you're giving up? Is that
no? I'm not giving up. I'm in 4 leagues and I have a lot of the same players. And I have a lot of guys on bye. So the guys that are on my bench are guys I have to play. To go on the waiver wire and pick anybody up now, I've already done what I can. So I'm really just legitimately playing the guys that I can play.
All right. Very good.
I love how I get a notification while we're doing the show that Andrew Steckett just made a roster move.
Well, yeah, I mean, he gave me advice. That's the way that it works. All right. What else do we need to know for weeks?
It's like you don't have that power. Come on, man.
I don't. So what else do we need to know? We just, look, we've gone through this. I hope everybody understands that don't overreact to the Thursday practices. They don't matter anymore. Ricky Seals.
My phone didn't understand why you would play.
Let me explain it to you, because Thursday practices, whether they're limited or whether they're out, it's all about Friday and in some cases Saturday. The good news, we just got a little bit of good news as some practice things are coming. Ricky Seals-Jones returned to practice today, as did Antonio Gibson. So that's a good thing. Barkley's still sidelined. Galladay's still sidelined. Tony's still sidelined. Antonio Brown is still sidelined. Baker Mayfield is not going to play this week, and there are some growing concerns this may be a long-term injury because it's the second time he's dislocated his shoulder. It's not a throwing shoulder, but they're already saying surgery is needed after the season. One hit again, he may be really done.
Sure.
This is, unless they decide to go in another direction after this year, supposedly this is your franchise quarterback.
Yep.
You get treated a little bit different when you're that guy. Don't expect Odell Beckham Jr. to play tonight as well.
Right, of course. All right. The Oktoberfest menu is available at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill. It's got the chicken schnitzel, the brewer's sausage platter, the brewer's sausage sandwich, the apple cobbler, and so much more. Find out more at glorydaysgrill.com. You can put your orders in to pick up tonight and bring home for dinner. Of course, you can also hang out there on the patio or inside at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill. If you didn't get your question in, at Fans Fantasy on Twitter is how you do it. KZ will get them answered.
I did come up with one question. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I apologize. I do have one question. Is T.Y. Hilton a viable option?
Yeah, we're just talking about T.Y. Hilton.
Listen to the show.
Yeah, just talking about T.Y. Hilton.
He's flex worthy for sure this week.
Well, okay, because I didn't realize that Antonio Brown might not play, so I have T.Y. Hilton on my bench.
Yes, he would be. He would. Don't go pick somebody up. Just flip Hilton in there.
Okay. All right, very good. KZ will be back next Thursday at 11:30 a.m.-ish for the next Press Box Fantasy Football Show. Andrew Stecca, it's at A Stecca, correct?
Yes, at A Stecca.
Thank you for your dynamite additions. Thank you for sticking around today. Appreciate it, pal. We'll talk to you. Let's do this again in a couple weeks, all right?
Sounds good, man.
This has been the Press Box Fantasy Football Show. Oh, God.